Okay, so now that we finished the whole yellow booklet, we can take up some of the ones that are more meaningful, ones that you had trouble with. This one we took up the other day, but I made a mistake. So when you're given a table, the best thing to do, remember one of the trick was work backwards so that you see that 0 row. So if I work backwards in this column, when time is 0, what is the temperature? 7, because notice each one is going up by 3. So if you go down by 3, it's at 7. So because here my slope is, okay. Yeah, my slope is, first difference here is by 3, and the difference here is by 5, right? So if I were to write the equation y equal, what would my y equals mx plus b, what would my m be? Over? Right, 3 over 5, difference in y over difference in x, so 3 over 5 x, and what's my y-intercept? 7, right? 0, 7, right? So plus 7. So this is my equation of this line. What about this right here? What's my y difference? What's my first difference right here? 8. And what's my x difference? 20. So if I go backward 1 row, it will bring me to 0. And if I go backward 1 row, the temperature will be 6. Yeah, so in this case, what's my equation? Y equals? Perfect. Can I reduce this though? Whoops, yeah. Why did I write 60? That would be really hot. All right, I can reduce this. Sorry? 2 over 5, good. Because you can reduce this, so I divide both by 4. Okay, so now if I compare these two equations, I can answer this question. Right? So the line that represents relation 2 starts, does it start higher or lower? Does this start higher or lower? Lower, because it's my y-intercept. My y-intercept is lower. It starts lower. And it ascends, which one has a bigger slope? Okay, this is 0.6, this is 0.4. So this one is rises faster. So, but they were asking relation 2 rises less than relation 1. So my original answer is wrong. My answer on the sheet that I uploaded is wrong. This is the correct answer. Okay, so I have to fix this. Okay, why I don't like this question, because it's confusing. They're asking how does relation 2 compare to relation 1, and then so they could have just asked which has a steeper slope, which has which relation starts slower, or so forth. But when they compare two relations like this, the wording, I think, is a little confusing. So this one was number 4. It should be lower and less steep. All right. So I will update that in the answer key. All right. Any question on number 4? Make sense now? Okay. And my original one was I just did a quick sketch, but I didn't realize how close these relations were, like 6 and 7, 3 over 5 and 2 over 5. So then my sketch was not accurate. Okay. We got through the first set. Okay. I'm not going to go over every single question because that will take up like 2 days. So just want to go over some. For example, this one, I know that some people had trouble with. This is page 11. Page 11. So how you got these fractions is because you have to count in total how many there are first. So for example, in this one, if you count this, there's 8 here and 8 here. So in total, there's 64 squares in total. How many are shaded? Well, notice these ones are exactly half. So a half a square makes one whole square. So I have 1 square, let's see, 2 square, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So in total, if I count the whole squares and put together the half squares, I would have shaded, the ones shaded in would have been 16. So 16 out of 64. But notice it's none of these right here. None of these are over 64. That's because you could reduce this. So if you divide both numbers by 16, you will get 1 over 4. Okay? Similarly with these ones right here. So make sure, like the purpose of this question is to see if you know how to reduce fractions. Okay, so there you go. Which question in practice test 2? Which question in practice test 2 you got wrong and you want me to take out? So take a look. So I'm doing this review for you guys. So you guys tell me which ones you got wrong, and then I can go over. Yep. Dikshan?
Page 18, question number 24.
18. Question number 24? Oh, this one. Good question. Page 18, number 24. Cyrus, you want to put that phone away? Thank you. Okay, so which inequality represents which inequality is represented in this graph? Okay, so inequality, we did a couple of questions like this where we have to shade in the graph. On the last EQAO, I did see a couple of questions like this. So you want to make sure you do know how to do this. Okay, so looking at this graph, what you want to do, don't worry about the inequality. Think of it as a line. So you want to come up with the equation of the line first. Your y-intercept, 1. What's the slope? Pick any 2 points on this line. So I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to pick this one. Okay, so what's my rise? What's my run? 2, and my run, 1. So what's my equation? Y equal 2x plus 1. Perfect. Okay, because it's an inequality, that's why instead of an equal sign right here, I'm going to do greater or less than. Since I am shading below it, it's going to be less than. So y less than 2x plus 1. And notice it's a dotted line. What's the difference between a dotted line and a solid line? Good. And dotted line is just less than. And so this is your answer. So with these questions, just think of it as a normal line. Write the equation and then decide if it's greater or less than or equal to. Okay. So when you shade in the bottom under that line, then it's less than. If you shade over that line, it's greater than. Dotted line is just a greater or equal to, greater or less than sign. And if it's a solid line, then you have that line underneath. Okay? Good. Good question, Dikshan. Which other one? Which other one in practice test 2? 13? Page 15, question number 13. Okay, so this one, you want to draw your line of best fit. So if I draw this line as my line of best fit, is this a good line? Why not? Too low. What about here? Too high. What about like this? Really wrong, because it's not even following the right trend. But doesn't it have to go through 0? Nope. Nobody said that. And it does not have to go through the first point and the last point. Alright, so even like this, even this one right here, I think it's not the best. It doesn't have to go through the first and last. So my line of best fit, I would say something like this. Okay, that's how I would draw my line of best fit. Okay, so notice same amount of points above and below. Why did I ignore this one? Outlier, good job. You guys have good memory. Okay, so my y-intercept, 18. Okay, and then I choose any 2 points on this line to do my slope. I do not have to choose an actual point. So I'm going to choose 18 right here. And I'm going to choose this point right here. Okay, so notice my line of best fit goes through the grid perfectly right here, and right here, and right here. Okay, so I just need to choose any 2 points. So let's say I choose this one and this one. What's my rise? -4. Good job, because I'm going down. So negative. And then what's my run right here? 3. Okay. Notice here, it's not -2. So keep that in mind, even though it's 2 square. You have to look at your scale. So my scale is every 2 blocks. So I'm actually going down 2, going down 4. So -4 over 3. So my equation, y equal -4 over 3x plus 18. Okay. And instead of x and y, it's just d and t. But it means the same thing. Number 8. Page number 13. This one? Okay. Consider the following line of code. Area equals input. Enter the area of the square. If area is less than 0, display error. Else perimeter equals 4 times the square root of the area. Display perimeter. What output will be displayed if the user input a value of 0? Okay, so that's tricky. What is this symbol? Less than, but not less than or equal to. So that's why when you input 0, it won't display error. It would actually go through here. And then what is 4 times square root of 0? 0. That's why. Yeah. So, that's why I don't like EQAO. It's like they're not trying to test your knowledge. They're trying to trick you. Trick you to see like if you know how to read the question, if you know how to read like I just don't like the wording of their questions. Okay. Let's keep going. You guys are asking really awesome questions. 25. On page 29. 29. Oh, this one. You guys are asking all the great questions. Okay. Correlation coefficient. We kind of went over that the other day as well. what does it really, like, what's another word for it? Slope. Yeah. So think of it as slope. Which slopes corresponds to the data displayed in the scatter plot. So that would make it a lot easier to understand. So again, like the wording that they use on EQAO, that's why I hate it. Looking at just this right here, does it have a positive or negative slope? Negative slope. And this was the only one with a negative slope. So therefore, it is that one. Okay. But I do want to mention about like these right here. So I think one of the question was asking strong correlation and a weak correlation. Okay, there were I think one of the questions mentioned that. So for a strong correlation, meaning a very steep slope, it would so the difference between slope and correlation coefficient is that this only has values between -1 and +1. So correlation coefficient only has values between 1 and -1. So if your line is really steep, it will say it has a 1 or -1 correlation. So close to 1 or -1. Okay. And so for a weak one, so a weak slope meaning a flat slope, what's the slope then in that case? 0, because a 0 slope would give you a horizontal line. So then a weak correlation would be something that's close to 0. Okay. So if I were to change up the wording of this question and say without the graph, okay. So if I were to change the question and say which relation has the strongest correlation? Which one of the following has the strongest correlation? Yeah, 0.95. Good. Which one is the second strongest correlation? Negative 0.85. Yeah, because remember it's closest to 1 or -1. So even though it's negative, which one has the weakest? 0. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Okay. Yeah. 26. 19. Okay, page 26. Page 26, number 19. Okay, at a particular time, the temperature of the air above a town is given by the equation that, where T represents the air temperature in Celsius and H represents the height above the ground in feet. Select 2 of the statement that is true. The rate of change of the air temperature is 28. So we know that's not it because rate of change means our slope. And our slope is that. So nope, that's not it. The air temperature increased by 2 degrees for every 1,000 increase in altitude. So if you do 2 divided by 1,000, you do get 0.002. But the difference right here, it says increase. This means decrease. So that's why this is not right. So if it says the air temperature decreased by 2 degrees every 10,000, then that would be right. The temperature at the ground level is 28 degrees. Yeah, so that's your y-intercept. That's right. And the air temperature decrease. There you go. Okay. If you see these type of questions on EQAO, it's a good thing because then your choices of getting it, your guess of getting it correct, just increase because you know it's either this one or this one. This is the opposite of each other. Okay. So you know that it's going to be one of these and one of these. Okay. Which other one? Yep.
Page 24, question 9.
24.
24.
24, question
24.
24. Oh, sorry. 34?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Four.
I feel like I'm I feel like I'm starting a cold. My nose is getting stuffed. Question 9. So this one on the top right here. Okay, a landscaper uses boot length to estimate distance. So the length of a boot is 32 centimeter long. If the landscaper make a garden that has a width of 3.5 meter, approximately how many boot length is the width of the garden? So, okay, yeah. So notice the difference in the units. So one is centimeters, one is meter. So we need to convert it. Let's change this. 3.5 meter is how many centimeters? How many? 350. So you do 350 divided by 32, and you get how many boots is it going to take? 350 divided by 32, you get that. All right, and since you're using a boot where you cannot cut it, you don't want the last one to cut off the top part. So when you round it, it's going to be 11 boots. So there you go. Okay, yeah. 11, sure. This one right here. The air temperature of a mountain drops by 4 degrees for every 1,000 meter of elevation. If the air temperature is 25 at the base, at what elevation will the air temperature be 17 degrees? Oh, good question. So let's set up our equation. Y equals mx plus b. I just want to set up the equation because we have all the information right here. So dropping 4 Celsius every 1,000, what would my slope be? Okay, rise over run. So you're dropping 4 over 1,000, but it's a drop in temperature. Negative. Good job. And what was the ground temperature? 25. So there's my equation. That's my equation of the line. Now I want to know when it will be 17 degrees. Should I sub in 17 in here or should I sub in 17 in here? Is the 17 for x or for the y? Okay, so I guess I shouldn't use x and y. Here, let me change this up. Okay. Here, actually, here. We don't need that. So I'm gonna put equals elevation. There. Yeah, so temperature equals the rate at the elevation plus 25 degrees. So if I want to figure out what elevation would give me 17 Celsius, do I sub in the 17 for T or for E? T, because temperature. Yeah. So 17 equal that, and then I'm solving for E. Well, let's change it to a decimal. -4 divided by 1,000 is just this. So -0.004 E plus 25. So we're just solving for E. Move the 25 over. So 17 minus 25, -8. and then divide. So negative 8 divided by negative 0.004, 2,000. 2,000 liters. So with this question, it was tricky because you're given like 4 numbers. So if there's different ways how you could do this. You could do a table of value starting at 25 degrees and then like reducing. Yeah. So that's why I came up with this. Actually, it won't take too long because it's
You're the one who put to use your timeline.
Oh, but let me show you if I use a table of value how I would do this. So my way, because I've done this for so many years, I would just jump to the equation. So create the equation and then sub it in and then solve. So I like the algebraic way. If you want to do the table way, it's actually not too bad. So the temperature and the elevation. So it starts out at 25. Okay, and if at that, right? So 25 degrees at 0 elevation. So remember, okay? Okay, so if I go up 1,000, the temperature is now what? Remember, if I go up 1,000, temperature goes down 4 degrees. So now it's going to be at 21. What if I do that again? Go up another 1,000. So now it's at 2,000, and now the temperature is 17. When will the temperature be at 17? At 2,000.
So easy.
Both way works. This one was easy because they gave you 17, which is like it only took 2 rows. If they ask you when would the temperature be like negative 50, then obviously this would be the better option. Okay. So both method works. Okay. Next, Sean, you had a question.
Yeah,
On page 24? So now it's 24. Which one, sorry? 12. Julia. So question 12 on page 24. Julia plans to write a computer program to complete the following steps. Assign a value to x. If x is an integer, display x. Everything else, determine the integer n such that it's between those. Display n. What output would be displayed if the user assigned a value of 4.3? Okay, so let's go through it. Assign the value of 4.3. Okay, there. If x is an integer, display x. Is it an integer? No. No. So therefore, we're going to do this. So x, 4.3, and x plus 1 would be 5.3. So what is the integer between 4.3 and 5.3? 5. Display n, which is 5. EQAO. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. Yeah.
This one is easy, but I didn't understand. Can you explain question 16 on page 25?
16? Sure. Okay. Fan has X numbers of comic books. Emma has 10 fewer, then triple the number of comic books than Fan. Oh yeah, it's not easy, it's confusing. So Fan has X. Emma has 10 fewer, then triple the number of comic books as Fan. So 3x minus 10. 10 fewer, then triple the number. So 3x minus 10. Omar has double the number of comic books than Emma. So this is this. Right? In total, the three of them has 140 comic books. So what you have to do is this plus this plus this equal 140.
You're doubling it, so doesn't that count?
Well, this only tells you how many Omar has. So this is how many Fan has. This is how many Emma has. This is how many Omar has. So in total, you would have to write it as x plus 3x minus 10 plus 2 times 3x minus 10 equal 140. Like this. Okay, and so you can see none of it has is this because they want you to simplify it. So x plus 3x plus let me solve it. So x plus 3x minus 10 distribute. So plus 6x minus 20 equals 140. So if you simplify this, and this goes together, so you have 10x, and then this and this goes together, so you have minus 30 equals 140. And did I make a mistake?
Yeah, you plus 6 minus 10 equals.
Where's my mistake?
I think you made a mistake in the answer. I think it is.
In this part?
Isn't that this one's pretty-
No, so my answer has a mistake. It's this one. Yeah. So the answer should be here. It should be this one, not this one. Yeah. There we go. So let me. This is page 25. Which one is? Let me change my answer from here. Oh, so my answer here was correct. Yeah, it was 10x minus 30 equals 140. Okay. So these type of questions, I've seen it on the last one. So I think the trickiest part was when you do the adding, you forget that extra x right there because Fan has x books. So you also have to include Fan. So I think when I did it the first time around, I forgot about this x. And then I remember, oh yeah, Fan also has books. Okay. Next. All right, you guys finished the whole booklet. Oh yeah, I didn't show the answer for the last set, so I can go over the answers in the last set. This one, yeah. Okay, so this last set, these questions was from the sample test in the 2022. So last year's sample test. Okay, so we can go over the answer. So number one answer is negative 14. Give yourself a check mark or an X. Okay, I want to see how you guys did on this last set. Okay, so number 1 is negative 14. Number 2, 2n plus 8. For any of these that you got wrong, put up your hand so we can take it up together. Don't be shy. 31. The last set. Just make sure everybody is on that page first. Okay, so number 1 is negative 14. Number 2 is 2n plus 8. Number 3, 16 tickets. All right. I do want to go over box plot after we finish taking up this set. Number 4, infinite many real numbers. Number 5, C. Yeah, this one. Okay. So each side of the length of a cube is 4 centimeters long. So you have a cube. Cube meaning every side is the same length, so it's 4 centimeters. Each side of the other one is triple. So now you have a bigger cube. And since it's triple, that means it's 12 centimeters. How many times greater is the volume of cube B than the volume of cube A? So volume formula, side cube. So 12 cube gives you 12 times 12 times 12. 12 times 12 times 12, 1,728. With this one, 4 cube, you get 64. So if you divide that, divide 64, it's 27 times. So 27. Okay. Okay, and then number 6, double bar graph. Okay. Box plot, we know what it looks like. Histogram, what does a histogram look like? Anyone remember what's a histogram? Histogram, here. I'll show you guys a picture. Histogram. It's basically kind of like a bar graph. It's like a bar graph. That's what a histogram. Usually we use frequency as our y. So that's the difference between histogram and a bar graph. Your y, what we define our y as. Circle graph, you know what it is. It's just like a pie graph. And then because we want to compare 2 towns, this is the only one that compares 2 towns over time. Okay. All of these is just a single data. These would only do single data. Okay. Number 7. Number 7, 7 years. Okay. Number 8, 03. Okay. Again, anyone that you guys got wrong, feel free to put up your hand and we can take it up. This one we just took up, 11 boot length. Number 8, what's this? Okay. Yeah. Number 10, cost of food. Yeah, so you know what? Like as silly as these questions seem, they do ask it in on EQAO. It's like asking you, would you rather spend your life saving on a house or on video games? So you better not get that wrong. Number 11, we went over that. It's 2,000 meters. Number 12, 45. And believe it or not, they asked quite a few of those finance questions.
Are we going to ask a lot of slope
On final exam, you'll see more slope. On EQAO, it's more finance question. Like that's the change that I realized in the last few EQAO. Number 13, option 2. Okay, number 13 is B. This one? Okay, sure. Option for entrance fee shown below. Which statements about the option is true? For further visits, option 2 is cheaper. For 4 visits, option 2 is here. Option 1 is here. So option 2 is more expensive. So that's not it. For fewer than 8 visits, option 2 is cheaper. 8 visits, so which is...
That doesn't work because that would take 70 visits, both of them are equal. So only option 4 qualifies.
Alright, let me maybe my answer is wrong. Let me draw the line better. I can't see it clearly. So this is option 2, and this is option 1. Okay, so yeah, this is not it because that's not the intersection point. So nope, that's not it. Sorry. Your intersection point is at 7 visits. This is the for 11 visits, right here, option 1 is $10 more. It's not, it's actually $20 more. From 90, compare 90 to 70, so that's not it. And then for more than 7 visits, option 1 is more expensive. For more than 7 visits, option 1 is more expensive. So this one. So, yep, answer for this one, sorry, it is D. Okay, so let me... Okay, so it is option D, sorry. And remember we did a few of these type of questions in the assignment? Yeah, so. For question 14, option A. Okay. Again, since it's a savings account, higher interest is beneficial to you. If you're borrowing a loan where you have to pay interest, then higher interest is not good for you. Okay. So it depends if they say it's a savings account or if it's a loan. So that's the key right here. Number 15 is x squared. So the first option, Mohini, you're checking. Okay. Naomi, you got these two answers? Okay. Got it. Number 16. Okay. Oh, it's the same one. Sam has X numbers of trading cards. So X. Yeah. Something. Faiza. I don't know. It's a mystery what the name is. We'll say Sia. Sia has double the number of cards as Sam plus 20 more. So double that and 20 more. Farid has tripled the number of Alexa. So there's the mystery. Alexa. So triple that. Alright, and then it's the same. Add up all 3 equal 350. And then you will get that. Okay. 17, that is 50 degrees. because we know this is 90, so that's 50. 18, third option. Okay. Oh, 17 was 50. Okay, 18 is C. 19 is D. This one right here. 20 n equals 3. Okay. Yeah, similar, very similar question. 21 C. Number 20. 20 is n equals 3.
The same one as like the other one.
Exactly, yeah.
So just substitute x.
Oh, yeah, because pi is 3.14. Yeah, so you would go through each of these steps with 3.14. Okay.
Does that question count as coding or just like
Coding is a coding question.
There's a lot of coding
The previous year, 2 years ago, that one had a lot of coding. Last year's, it had a lot of finance questions.
How do you coding so
I don't know yet.
Maybe just like
Huh?
can you give us like a hint of what it's gonna be?
I don't see it. I don't see it until you guys see it.
So basically you only know the final exam.
And because final exam, we make it. EQAO. If you guys have friends that are writing EQAO before us, ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some schools that write it beforehand.
Schools are not doing EQAO at all. I know.
They have to.
I don't know.
But some of them have the next semester.
And then one school's not doing math exam at all. Like some back of my he's like, oh, I'm not doing a math exam.
Answer exam? But how many percent are they counting it though? So then the 10 and then 20. But what are they doing for the 20 then? Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the school.
What? Jasmine, were you gonna say something?
My friend told me they do like different. Like I asked them if you like use the question.
Yeah.
And he said that they'll probably like give a different.
Oh, it's there's like a pool of questions that they pull from, but then you can see like some of the questions are very similar. So that's why I want to know what is this year's focus. If they say box plot is this year's focus, and like then that's a hit. But if they say like they are, and in the past when it was paper and pencil type EQAO, the focus was always on linear relations. Yeah. You actually had to graph it and all that, but so in the past it has always been linear relations, and then it shifted to coding, and then it shifted to finance. So this year, I don't know, maybe, maybe. All right, number 22, algebra. No, well, actually not algebra. A. Okay. 23, A as well. Okay. 24 is C. Okay. And 25, it's D. 23? 23 was A. Okay, so out of 25, so let's say 25, remember you need 70% to pass. That means you need 18. You need to have at least 18 of these 25 correct to mean that you pass EQAO. How many of you got more than 18 correct in this last set? Good job. We are counting on you. Okay. No, I think you guys are a strong group. I do. Oh. 40?
It's like not the best.
3K hours?
And I know that people from Mr. Tian's class also